All right, people, welcome back to One Body, episode 10. I'm Cruzy.
I'm Eden.
And today we're talking about magnesium. Magnesium is a great thing for everyone to know a bit about because honestly, we're all probably deficient in it, and it's such an essential mineral. So we'll
I
get
hear
to that.
magnesium this, magnesium that. I'm like, what even is it? When do I take it? Where do I get it?
Well,
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's get into it in a minute.
Yeah.
You just went to New York. Tell us about it.
New York.
Not bad.
Thanks.
Did you sing that like the
Big
whole
Apple.
time you were there?
Actually, every corner in New York. And then there's another song.
New York, New York. Yeah.
New York. Yeah.
Oh, just one up me.
New York. I went to New York to oh my gosh, it was so overdue. Some of my dear friends from college, they were in my wedding, live in New York. Like they really are living in, they live in Brooklyn, which I now understand the difference between Brooklyn and Manhattan. Honestly, didn't know what
And
the difference
Melena's
was.
in Manhattan.
Yeah, she's really in Manhattan. She's in it. So it was really fun to go. I went with our younger sister, Ella, on a little girls' trip. And it felt like a big trip, honestly, like going to New York.
Yeah.
Just us two navigating.
And you also were there during the U.S. Open.
Yeah. And like Labor Day weekend. Not the cheapest time to
No.
go, but we did it. Yeah, it was really fun, really nice to have our friends there as sort of like tour guides and like seeing less touristy things. We did see Hamilton. Oh my gosh. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was because it wasn't the original cast, but oh my word, they are so good. I mean, it's their profession. Like they are experts in this.
Was it moving? Like, did you feel moved by the whole story?
It made me want to like go back and retake U.S. history because wow, I guess I didn't pay attention. Like didn't know anything.
I know. And it's
laughed
long, right? Isn't it like 3 hours?
Yeah, but it really doesn't feel like that. Like I was so dialed in.
That's cool.
Ugh, and I just can't stop. Like every time someone says anything in conversation, it somehow matches the lyrics. Like in Pilates, she said, "Rise up," and I'm like, "Rise up," singing all the song. Like I can't. It's in my head forever now.
That's fun.
But honestly, like it was so fun to visit, and also made me thankful for like I love living in Tennessee. It made me appreciate my life, and I wondered if I would feel like, ugh, Chattanooga stinks, or like it's just not as cool. So that was good to realize.
Yeah.
I'm happy where I am.
Fun
but
to
I'm
visit.
glad I got to go. Yeah, kind of like my first time going as an adult.
What's the best thing you ate or drank over the weekend?
Probably the pizza. I love pizza. And so I was really excited to get like the New York slice. And it was cacio e pepe.
Oh, what's that?
I think that means cheese and pepper.
Sounds right. It's a pepper.
Cacio. But like fresh ricotta cheese on top with freshly cracked pepper.
Yum. And it's thin. It's like...
Yeah, I thought New York pizza was thick. I guess that's Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago's thick. I think New York is thin.
So good. But we obviously got a bagel, got really good coffee, a good spritz, Hugo spritz.
Yeah, didn't you do like a spritz flight?
Else.
A few spritzes?
A limoncello spritz, Hugo spritz, a few of them. I think those are the main things. Got some good soft serve ice cream. Oh, and a Fifth Street burger.
Okay. It's known for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a smash burger.
Cool. That's fun. We went to Pilates this morning. Eden and I, we went to the workout, and now I'm wearing their shirt.
Shout out the workout.
Yeah. At one time, we were like doing these lunges. She goes, "Wow, you guys were lunging so fast. I thought you were going to fly off your reformers."
No, your reformers were going to fly away.
Your reformers were going to fly.
We all laughed at
It was
that.
like supposed to be like encouraging.
Yeah. She's kind of like, guys, chill out.
Okay. Yeah. But no, it's fun. I feel like I'm going to be sore.
You just had a birthday.
I did have a birthday.
What'd you do?
31, which is such an uninspiring age.
That's kind of bad,
whatever.
honestly.
It was fun. It was definitely like an adult birthday where nothing was planned in advance. My husband was actually out of town for work on that day. So I went into the day with very low expectations because I was like, it was a Wednesday. I was working, just nothing special. But it was really sweet because some of my closest friends in Atlanta texted me in the afternoon. They were like, "Come to our lawn at 4 p.m. We're having a little happy hour." And my friend Carlisle was so sweet. She made this little bar in her front yard. We had these really good palomas, and she got me my favorite brown butter chocolate chip cookies from Whole Foods. And just had a fun little hang. All the kids were playing, and that was really sweet. And then our other two sisters came over for dinner, and we got some tacos. And then I watched The Summer I Turned Pretty. This was the second to last episode, and
Don't say
it was
thing.
okay. It was pretty good. Like it's building
Okay.
because the one before this was so bad. It felt like a waste of my
I agree.
time. So you're watching?
Yeah.
Since when?
I'm watching with Nina and Ava.
Oh, yes. Okay. And you're caught up.
No, we're one episode behind. Because we have to watch together, and it's hard to find the time. Ava's so popular.
Are you team Conrad or Jeremiah?
Conrad.
Yeah,
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Just making sure. Jeremiah sucks.
But honestly, I think low expectations for birthdays is kind of good.
It is.
Because then you're hopefully pleasantly surprised. I feel like I usually cry on my birthday for some stupid reason.
Yes, and I have a lot in the past years, but I think, I don't know, something about getting older, I'm kind of like, as long as I do some things I love on my birthday and I feel loved by some people, that's good.
And maybe you know what you love better.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's good. It was a good birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about magnesium. So this is an essential mineral. Essential means you have to get it. You have to put it into your body. Your body doesn't make it on its own. That's what that means. And then mineral is a naturally occurring inorganic solid. Inorganic means it's not living and it doesn't contain carbon. So fun little science. So the body cannot synthesize magnesium. We have to get it through food or supplements. And magnesium is necessary for the function of over 300 enzymes in our bodies. So an enzyme is just a substance that speeds up a chemical reaction. So magnesium is needed for so many things. I wrote them out so I won't forget. Protein synthesis, cellular energy, DNA and RNA synthesis, stabilizing mitochondrial membranes, nerve transmission, cardiac excitability, which is your heart, neuromuscular conduction.
Gosh.
Muscle contraction, vasomotor tone, your blood pressure, glucose and insulin metabolism. So it's a obligate cofactor, which means it's required for an enzyme to function properly in every reaction that requires ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is energy. So if you are deficient in magnesium, then the ATP process and production of energy will not be as efficient. So when you do intake magnesium, it's absorbed into the small intestine, which is the first part of your intestines. Specifically, it's actually the more distal part of it, the jejunum and the ileum. And then a small bit is absorbed in the large intestine. Changes from the intake are balanced by how much magnesium you excrete in the urine. And then, if you need more magnesium, you won't excrete as much. If you have enough, you'll excrete more. So approximately 50% of the magnesium in the body is stored in the bones. Another 50% is in the tissues or the organs, and then only 1% is in the blood. So when we talk about measuring your magnesium levels, it's typically from the blood serum. So if you think about it, that's only 1% of the magnesium. So it's not the best marker, but it's the easiest available. It's the one we have the most data on. So that's what we use. So like we talked about, magnesium is essential for so many functions, kind of like every function of the body. But I think of it specifically in these three areas: sleep, digestion, and bone health are going to be key functions. So bone health, it keeps the mineralization of the bones healthy. It's also very important for your brain health, your heart function, muscle function, electrolyte balance. So it's one of the key electrolytes that it's in all of the electrolyte packets. It's helpful for your immunity, for your energy metabolism, for your gut health. So it can help keep your bowel movements regular, keep things moving. It works by osmosis. So when it's in the gut, it pulls water into the GI tract and helps you have a bowel movement. And then for sleep and restfulness, it helps regulate GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that's important for sleep. And it shortens the time that it takes to fall asleep, sleep latency, I think is what it's called. And there's been some randomized control trials and meta-analyses that show that magnesium supplementation can modestly reduce sleep onset latency by about 17 minutes. So that doesn't sound that dramatic, but
that 17 minutes of counting sheep will get you.
It'll make you go crazy. And then
or make you look at your phone or decide I'm not going to fall asleep.
Exactly. but the effects on like the total sleep time and then subjective sleep quality aren't very consistent in the
Okay.
studies and not statistically significant. But to
Hmm.
me, like you need magnesium for so many things. If it helps you fall asleep
Mm-hmm.
sooner, like that's significant to me. And then deficiencies in magnesium are associated with tons of chronic diseases. So migraines, a lot of times you could be deficient in magnesium if you're having migraines. Alzheimer's has been associated with deficiencies, stroke, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and then chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. So, all super important things. So, we get magnesium through food or supplementation. The RDI is the recommended dietary intake for the day is 310 to 320 milligrams daily for women. It's actually higher during pregnancy, and then 400 to 420 milligrams daily for men. And 60% of adults in the US do not consume the RDI of magnesium. There's a lot of reasons for that. Almost all food does contain small, like trace amounts of magnesium, but foods that you'll find it in higher densities would be whole grains, nuts, specifically almonds and cashews, seeds like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, broccoli, spinach, and other leafy greens like kale or collards, chard, legumes, so beans, lentils, chickpeas, white potatoes.
Oh.
So one medium baked potato with the skin on it contains about 50 milligrams of magnesium.
Not sweet potatoes.
Yeah, it's more in white potatoes.
Oh,
Yeah,
good to
kind of
know.
surprising.
Yeah.
But sweet potatoes have like so many other
Mm.
benefits above white potatoes.
Okay.
So I would still choose a
Choose
sweet
sweet
potato.
potato.
Yeah,
Okay.
get your magnesium from other things. And then there is some in animal sources like salmon, chicken, yogurt, and dairy products, but less. So more in plant products. And then you can get magnesium through supplements. So there's organic magnesium salts and there's inorganic magnesium salts. The organic ones, that just means it's bound to an organic acid or amino acid, and these are better absorbed and they have higher bioavailability, so the amount that you can actually use it. So there are so many different forms of magnesium, and it's you don't need to memorize them, but just because you'll see it on bottles that you're looking at. Types of organic magnesium salts are citrate. That's a good one for constipation. Aspartate, there's glycinate or bisglycinate, which is a type that's bound to the amino acid glycine, and it has really good absorption. And that one's good specifically for calming, sleep, anxiety, muscle relaxation. Magnesium bisglycinate is probably my favorite form of it. And then other types, we have L-threonate. That one's really good for your brain health, your memory, your cognitive function. Magnesium malate, gluconate, lactate, orotate. That one's good for your heart health and energy production. So those are all the organic ones, tons of different types. And then inorganic would be magnesium that's bound to an inorganic anion. So these examples would be oxide is a very common one. That's very inexpensive. It actually has pretty poor absorption, but it's a good laxative. Magnesium chloride or carbonate or sulfate are other types. Then there's this specific type of magnesium supplement called sucrosomial, which is absorbed faster and better because it's coated in a liposomal product that allows it to pass through the stomach and into the intestines better. And then you also tolerate it better, so it doesn't come with as many side effects.
Say that one again.
That's sucrosomial. So when looking for a supplement, I personally have found the best success with bisglycinate or glycinate. They're pretty equivalent, or a sucrosomial source. And the type that I personally choose, I have no association. Wish I did because I love Kelly LeVeque. She's amazing and like a role model to me. She created a brand called Be Well, and she has a magnesium source that I've been taking and I love it. It's a mix. It's a sucrosomial source and it has a mix of different types of like oxide, bisglycinate, maybe another one, but it's well tolerated and I really like it. So you could try that one. Okay, so a deficiency of magnesium typically would be from the blood serum from a lab test, and it would just be below the normal limit. So that's typically 1.7 milligrams per deciliter. Causes of deficiency. So this is interesting because a lot of us are deficient. Either poor intake of magnesium or increased GI losses or increased urinary excretion. So those are the three ways that you can be deficient. Poor intake, increased GI losses, or increased urinary
Does that just mean
excretion.
like peeing and pooping too much?
Peeing it out or not absorbing it. The GI losses would be either not absorbing it in the
Okay.
GI system or, yeah, pooping it out
Okay.
for whatever
Which I guess
reason.
is like the same thing. Like it's not absorbing and then it's just leaving your body.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Hmm.
So just to talk about each of those in a little bit more detail, poor intake. So it's rare as like the sole cause of the problem because, like I said, most foods contain a bit of magnesium. And if you have healthy kidneys, they can adapt to like hold on to more magnesium.
Okay.
So, but what's interesting about current day is our farming practices have depleted the soil of a lot of the natural magnesium that's there. So our food inherently just doesn't have as much, it's not as dense in magnesium as it
Okay.
used to be.
Yeah.
So even if you're eating all the right foods, you're not getting as much. So poor farming practices like the Green Revolution, which prioritized corn, rice, wheat, and then it started using like fertilizers and pesticides. That did not help. And then our soil is very acidic, so that doesn't help. And then there's also like from just changes in the weather, heavy rainfall, which leaches the magnesium from the soil, and then it reduces the uptake by the plants. So, and some sources say the magnesium content of produce has dropped about 80% is lost during food processing.
Wow.
So that's kind of sad. And then let's say you just have a poor diet, like you don't eat leafy greens, legumes, seeds, nuts, which a lot of people do not do that or just not in the right amount. So that would be poor intake. And then GI losses would be diarrhea for whatever reason. You could have IBS diarrhea type, you could have Crohn's disease, tons of different reasons to have diarrhea. You could have a parasite or other GI infection. Malabsorption. So you're just not absorbing. Again, let's say you have celiac or Crohn's, like an inflammatory bowel disease, or you've had a bypass surgery that actually bypasses part of the small intestine for like weight loss. Those could all be reasons. And then other reasons for GI losses would be medications. So if you remember our GERD episode, we talked about PPIs, proton pump inhibitors. If you're on a high dose chronically, a potential side effect would be that you're not absorbing as much magnesium.
So then what do you do? Because if you take more, but you still can't absorb it, like what's the solution?
Yeah,
it's
you
just
just
an
have
unwanted side effect.
Yes, and
Do you want acid reflux or do you want to be tired?
Yeah, the lesser of two evils, but you just have to basically override and take a lot of magnesium.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do absorb enough. So that's GI losses. Urinary losses, certain medications, so diuretics, like people could be on Lasix for whatever reason, can cause you to pee out extra magnesium. Certain antibiotics, some medications, they're called calcineurin inhibitors for like if you had a transplant or something, that could cause it. Some chemotherapy drugs can do it. If you have uncontrolled diabetes or insulin resistance, that can cause it. Alcohol use disorder can cause you to pee out more magnesium. If your calcium levels are high, if you have really bad kidney disease or certain genetic disorders can cause you to pee out more urine. Other interesting ones, sometimes stress. Hormones cause magnesium to move into the blood, which increases the urinary excretion. So that's kind of interesting. Signs that you would be deficient in magnesium if you're very fatigued and tired, if you feel weak with your muscles, sometimes even nauseous. You can get some dysrhythmias, like your heart is beating in an abnormal way because it helps with the heart excitability. You can get muscle cramps and spasms, some tremors like uncontrolled shaking or even seizures if it's very severe. And then very, 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 very severe and life-threatening low values could cause respiratory failure or coma. So testing, if you want to get tested to see if you're deficient in magnesium, it's not like a standard test, but it is in a lot, like you can add it on with your primary care doctor or in like functional tests, it'll usually be there. So this would be a lab draw. They would pull your serum and then they would measure how much magnesium. Like we said, only about 1% of the body's total stores are in the blood. So it may underestimate if you have like true tissue depletion of magnesium, it could miss it. Some people might say the magnesium red blood cell is a better marker. It's just not used as much because it hasn't been studied as much and it's more expensive. And then an ionized, the biologically active form could potentially be used too, but most commonly you just get your regular lab draw. Sometimes you can test like the amount that you're excreting in the urine too for a better estimate. And then you can use some apps to actually calculate how much magnesium you're getting through your daily food intake. So that could be helpful.
Yeah.
Just to see kind of where you're at. And then, so if you do have a magnesium deficiency, which probably most of us do to some degree, then you can try to increase magnesium-rich foods. And there's literally no downside in doing that because it's good produce and legumes and nuts and seeds, and that's good for everything else in the body as well. But most commonly, you'll want to supplement. The RDI, like I said, is somewhere around like 310 to 420 milligrams a day. And it's actually best to divide out the doses throughout the day because you can probably absorb it better that way. The tolerable upper limit is about 350 milligrams a day because on top of that, some people might have side effects, which most commonly is just GI distress. So it might make you have diarrhea is going to be the main one, frequent bowel movements.
Not too bad.
Yeah, a lot of people need that because we're constipated because of our diets. And a sustained release is slowly absorbed with less excretion through the urinary system. So that is better. And then if it's really severe, you could consider IV magnesium. That's typically just if you're in the hospital. Yeah. And the levels, like if you were to start taking magnesium, you might see the levels change in the blood pretty quickly, but the intracellular, the levels in the cell will take a lot longer to replete. So you'll have to be on it for several months if you do have a deficiency. In my opinion, I always like to know if I need to be taking a supplement because I don't want to be wasting money. If you're taking in excess magnesium, you're just going to pee it out. But chances are you would probably benefit from taking some magnesium, at least like in seasons where you know you're not eating as well, or maybe you're having some issues with some of the symptoms that we talked about and you want to see if it helps. But it's always a good idea to just talk to your healthcare provider, see if you can maybe get that lab drawn and just see where you're at. And if it is low or on the lower end of normal, take a supplement. Again, I like the sucrosomial or bisglycinate forms of it.
Okay. So is there why would anyone take an inorganic form?
It's cheaper and it's more available on the shelves.
I get confused. I've heard magnesium, like take it for sleep or take it for energy. So if you need to take a specific kind of magnesium.
Yeah, technically certain ones are going to be more targeted towards those certain things, but in my opinion, like magnesium, it's going to go where you're deficient in it. So just take the one that's best absorbed and best tolerated, which from studies has been sucrosomial and bisglycinate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you are deficient, you might take it for a few months and become less deficient. But in general, it could be beneficial even if you're not extremely deficient.
Yeah, so honestly, I take, because my kidneys are healthy and I will excrete out excess magnesium, I take it probably 4 days a week for indefinitely.
And multiple times a day.
I just take it at night because it does make me kind of feel a little sleepy and it helps me feel rested. So I just take it at night and it helps me fall asleep. And then it also keeps me regular. Like I usually wake up and can have a bowel movement. Sorry if that's TMI, but I think that's really helpful. But I think if you are truly deficient and you're taking higher doses, then you would want to be spreading it out. Like take one in the morning, one midday, and one at night.
Optimize it.
Yeah.
I've taken magnesium on kind of like a needs basis, or if I really want to sleep well and I'm kind of stressed about something the next morning. And I will say, I found it to be way more helpful than like a melatonin supplement, and I need to pay attention now to the bowel movements, but I think I'm the same way.
Yeah.
So good night's rest and ready to go.
Yeah. You can't get better than that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But read the labels.
Read the labels. Yeah. I always like Thorne is a good, like, very affordable
Okay.
supplement company. That's THORNE. They have some good magnesium options on there. And then I like the Be Well by Kelly one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Any other questions?
No, that was very helpful.
All right. Love it.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.